On Friday, the Supreme Court, well, they gave Elon Musk's DOGE access to your unredacted Social Security Administration data. Now, that includes names, addresses, medical histories, tax returns, even mental health and family court records. Data on nearly every single American. And let's be clear, this isn't vague metadata. No, this is deeply personal. The government's version of your life tracked from cradle to grave and now handed over without your permission. My name is Lou Reyes, and this is Over 50 TV, where we help you earn more so you can retire smarter. Now, as I mentioned in the opening, on Friday, the Supreme Court handed Elon Musk the keys to one of America's most sensitive data vaults. They gave Elon Musk the keys to your Social Security records.
That the Supreme Court handed the Trump administration two victories today in cases involving DOGE, including giving it access to Social Security systems containing personal data on millions of Americans.
In their emergency ruling, there were no oral arguments. No. There was no signed opinion, as a matter of fact. Just a swift decision from the highest court in the land. Now, this is not just a bad ruling. This is potentially a dangerous one. According to Kathleen Romig, Kathleen is a former senior advisor in the SSA's Office of the Commissioner. Well, according to Kathleen, the agency's database, well, it contains nearly everything about you. It contains your full name, your Social Security number, your date and place of birth, your gender, your address, your marital and parental status, your parents' names, lifetime earnings, immigration and work authorization records. It contains your bank account details and even your medical history. This is the digital DNA of your life. And now, a private tech experiment backed by a controversial billionaire has the keys.
Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
And here's what makes this so disturbing. The court didn't just grant access. In a second ruling, they also blocked a government watchdog from even seeing how DOGE plans to use that data. There's no transparency, no oversight, just trust us. But trust in this case, well, it is a tall order. DOGE is not a traditional federal agency. Its staffers weren't all vetted by civil service protections or bound by the same ethical guidelines as other public servants. And yet, they now hold the digital lives of hundreds of millions of Americans, including retirees, in their hands. Now, supporters of the decision, including Trump administration, well, they say this is about rooting out waste and fraud. They argue that modernizing the SSA's outdated systems requires unrestricted access to sensitive records. But that's a straw man. No one's arguing against modernization. What critics are asking is something far more basic. Why do they want unredacted data? Why not redacted files that protect individual privacy while still allowing the system to be upgraded? Well, the Supreme Court didn't answer that. Instead, they rushed through an unsigned ruling that overrode the lower court's injunction, an injunction put in place precisely because the Privacy Act was being ignored. U.S. District Judge Ellen Hollander said it clearly. She says DOGE failed to justify why it needed unfiltered access to such deeply personal information. And labor unions, advocacy groups, and 3 Supreme Court justices, well, they all agree. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, she called this privacy risk grave, and yet her dissent, along with those of Justices Sotomayor and Kagan, were buried beneath a silent majority. Now, this isn't a political issue. This is a privacy issue. This is a precedent-setting moment. Because if a loosely overseen agency with a controversial founder can gain access to the most personal details of every American's life, without proper vetting, without justification, and without accountability, what's next? What's to stop a future administration from using that data to target political enemies, or selling it off under the guise of efficiency, or handing it to some contractor with no ethical or legal training in how to handle it? Let us agree, waste and fraud in government programs exists, and yes, reform is needed. But reform can't come at the cost of privacy. It can't come without rules, and it cannot be rushed through the courts in the dead of night with no signatures, no hearings, and no sunlight. And while DOGE's mission may sound noble, the method stinks of overreach. And history, if it teaches us anything, it teaches us that when institutions rush past the guardrails of accountability, the public pays the price. And this ruling, while it's just not about efficiency, it's really about control. And in a democracy, control without oversight is not efficiency, it's a threat. The Supreme Court, they got this ruling wrong. And we, the people, will pay for it unless we demand something better. I hope this video helped you make sense of what's happening with your Social Security data. I know this ruling, well, it was a surprise to me, even though probably I should have just figured this was going to happen, and there's lots of reasons for that. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you were surprised by this court ruling. Also, you might want to share this video with someone who you know, who you believe should know about what's going on here. Also, if you're interested, you want more information like this, you want to know how to earn more so you can retire smarter, well then go ahead and click up here in the corner to find some more videos that'll help you. Now, if you do want to stay ahead of what's really going on with Social Security, then you're not going to want to miss my new live show. It's called Social Security This Week. I host it every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time right here on Over 50 TV. And on that program, I cover the latest news. I talk about what's coming next, and then I tell you what it all means for you, what it all means for us. Well, that's all I've got for you. All I've got for you today anyway. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, stay sharp, stay informed, and stay empowered. Have a great day, everybody.